Okay, today guys we're going to talk about energy for cells. And when we talk about energy for cells, we're going to be dealing with two particular organelles. The first one is, just like when we were covering ecology, we're going to have to look at the primary source of energy. And so the primary source of energy is going to be harnessed from the sun. And in order to do that, we need chloroplasts. Okay, first thing you need to know about the chloroplasts, their name in itself means green form. And so when we look under the microscope and we see green, tiny green dots in a cell, then that means we're probably looking at chloroplasts. The second thing you need to know about chloroplasts is that they have a high amount of stacked membranes. And just like the common theme has been with these organelles, these stacked membranes are going to increase surface area. And so why is increasing surface area important? And it's what we're going to look at and what we're going to see as a continuing theme is that the increased surface area allows for an increase in chemical reactions. So real quick, we'll talk about the chemical reaction that takes place in the chloroplast. As you know, we need infrared solar radiation. So we basically have solar radiation. You also know that plants need water and that plants need carbon dioxide from the air. Okay, we learned in the ecology unit that this is where we get those macromolecules, those building blocks, is from the carbon dioxide in the air. And so these are the reactants, okay, of chloroplasts. Excuse me. Okay. In the products, and I'm actually going to just go, well, I'll go over here and erase. Okay, what comes out of this chemical reaction is going to be glucose and diatomic oxygen. All right, and so we're going to rearrange these molecules, and we're going to get glucose and oxygen. Glucose, as you remember, is going to be that energy molecule that we're able to use, and these are called the products. This equation, or excuse me, this formula should look very familiar because it has a name. So in the chloroplast, a famous reaction takes place, and it's called photosynthesis. Okay, so photosynthesis, making something with light, making something, which is glucose, with light. And remember, it's done because we have a high number of stacked membranes, large surface area for chemical reactions. What chemical reaction? Photosynthesis. Okay, when you look at, I guess we could go ahead and try to sketch. Can you guys see over here? I'll put it right here. Let's go. Okay, and then we'll be right here. If we were to take out a section of the chloroplast, you would see these little stacked membranes. Okay, this is actually, remember when we said we had a green form? Okay, that's because these little membranes, they're full of the pigment chlorophyll. All right, and that's what makes those chloroplasts green. And so this green pigment is what's actually going to be able to capture the energy, the photons, okay, or that energy unit. So we're going to have little reactions going on right here, making that glucose. Okay? Last but not least, before we move on to our next organelle, is that you need to understand that these chloroplasts are only found in photosynthetic organisms, cells, and so we're going to see these in plants and blue, green algae. Okay, so we're going to go on to another structure, and I'm going to start writing it here and erase as we need to so you can see them next to each other. Our next organelle that's used for energy is called the mitochondria. Okay, this is also going to be an organelle with a large amount of surface area. Okay, when we draw the mitochondria, we actually have two levels of membranes that are folded, and so I'm going to kind of draw it similar here. They're both very similar in shape. Like I said, I'm not a great artiste, but inside the mitochondria you actually have a matrix. Okay, so this large surface area membrane, and Miss Hart, as you can tell, is the artist of the year. And so you have these double actual membrane level layer in the mitochondria. Okay, mitochondria are found in all living cells because they are the unit of energy, or excuse me, the organelle of energy. So they're found in plant, animal. You have them in fungus. Okay, you have them in protists. But what you need to remember, once again, high surface area is going to give us a large amount of surface for chemical reactions to take place. The chemical reaction that we're talking about here in the mitochondria is called cell respiration. Okay, cellular respiration is going to be the reaction that uses that glucose and requires oxygen. Okay, so the reactants are glucose and oxygen, and it's going to give us as a waste product water, carbon dioxide, and ATP, which is the unit of energy that our cells can use. If you remember, when we talked about energy through ecosystems, we said ATP was the cash for the cells. All right? So mitochondria, large surface area, folded membranes. Okay, so you're going to see that as over and over and over again, folded and stacked, and convolutions are going to increase that surface area. It's found in most cells, and the reason its structure serves its function is because this large surface area gives us a place to do these chemical reactions. And we want to do this chemical reaction because it provides energy for the cell, usable energy. Okay, so over here on the left, what I want to do is I want to just show you these two reactions back to back. So when I look at photosynthesis, I have energy from the sun, so I'm just going to put sun plus carbon dioxide plus water, just so you remember what this is, sun, gives me glucose and oxygen. And then if I look at cellular respiration, I have glucose plus oxygen gives me carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. And so you can see there is a relationship. Let me go ahead and scoot that over so you can see all of the board. All right, so you can see that there is a relationship between these two formulas. All right, remember this is photosynthesis, this is cellular respiration. All right, what you should notice is that the products of one are the reactants of the other. Right? The products of one are the reactants of the other. The other thing that you could maybe notice is that we have a one-way energy flow. So we start our energy here with the sun, we end our energy over here with ATP, and this energy is going to have to constantly, I wish I had a big marker, just flow through that ecosystem. Okay, we're going to have a constant feed of energy. Even though this matter keeps getting recycled within it, the energy is going to have to flow through it. Okay, All right, guys, that is, remember where they're located, what their function, how their function is related to their structure, and these specific chemical reactions. You don't have to memorize the reactions, but you need to know which one's which is real easy. What do plants need, and what do plants give us? And so you can remember that they're opposite of each other. Okay, thank you very much.